everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about where we ended yesterday. Who can give a recap on what happened? Riley, go ahead.
They were on the train and Brightbill went in the door and then Brightbill didn't make the train.
I know, and is that a worry? Sure is. Hannah, go ahead.
They also saw the Rico ship and she wanted to get a ship.
Because why? Why did she want a ship? Hannah, you froze.
This is Isla.
Wait. Okay, go ahead, Isla. Why would Roz want an airship?
To fly home.
Yeah. Hannah, is that a quicker way for her to get home? Right. Okay, and remember, where is she going? Where is she going?
The island.
Talking right now. You remember where she's going right now?
She's going to the place, like Hannah said, to get an airship.
She's going to the big city. Remember, Brightbill said that Graybeak, the pigeon, could help. So let's pick it up where we left off, okay? Everything about the situation made our robot nervous. Her survival instincts were tingling. Roz looked up at her son on the roof, and then she stepped through the train door. But before Brightbill could flutter in behind her, the door slid closed and the train began to move. Chapter 69, The Train. Our robot felt something like panic as the train pulled away from the station. She wanted to break the door down, leap from the train, and find her son. But what could Roz do? She had to act like a normal robot. She had to pretend that nothing was wrong. The train car's interior was a long windowless room filled with rows and rows of robots. The robots were all facing forward and standing still. If not for their softly glowing eyes, you might think that they were all statues. Some of the robots were perfect and new, but most had scrapes and dents. None of them were ROSM, none more than ROSM unit 7134. Okay, you guys, I'm seeing people just like jumping around. I want you to put your hands up like this by your sides, put them in your lap, and get still and listen to the story. I'm going to wait until everybody's ready. So if you want to know what that looks like, look at Naomi or Everett or Noah. Finn, come back and sit down. Caroline's ready. Everly's ready. I think everybody's ready now. Is everybody ready? Okay. If you're ready to listen with your ears and get your body still, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to look. Okay. All right. Roz walked down the aisle and stood in the last row, and the train started to accelerate. That means faster and faster. Faster and faster it went until it reached its cruising speed. Then it hummed along the tracks, occasionally swinging left or right as it snaked around a curve. With no windows, Roz could only wonder how far she was traveling. She could only wonder about the scenery outside. Mostly, she wondered about what was she wondering about? Who could say?
Brightbill.
Mostly, she wondered about her son. Was Brightbill okay? How would she find him? Would they ever see each other again? Of course they would. Brightbill was smart and resourceful. The goose would simply follow the train tracks into the city. Then he would find his pigeon friend, Graybeak, and She would reunite them. She would help them reunite. Roz just had to stay out of trouble. Time crawled by. The robots gently swayed with the motion of the train. Finally, there was an announcement from the loudspeaker. Next and final stop, Center City Station. A whistle blew, and the train braked and slowed and came to a smooth stop. And the doors slid open, and the robots filed out. Here's the train. Chapter 70, the march through the city. Sorry, I had to turn the lights on. So here's a picture of this big city. See all those buildings? Different than what Roz knows, right? From the island or the farm.
That train was long.
It was long. It's a big train. The march through the city. The main hall of Center City Station was enormous. Wide columns stretched up to an arched ceiling. A huge electronic screen flickered with train schedules. The whole place was bustling with humans and robots. And everyone seemed to know exactly where they were going. Everyone except Roz. There was our robot standing still in the station while all the commuters hurried past. She was trying to calculate her next move, and she had to think quickly. You see, a normal robot would never loiter there for long. Roz needed to do something, anything. And when a crew of Roz and robots marched past in single file, she could think of no better plan than to join the end of the line and pretend to be one of them. I'm gonna let Alan in. She followed the crew through a set of doors, and suddenly they were outside. The city was a blur of activity. Automobiles hummed down the streets. Robots marched along the sidewalks. Humans talked and laughed and shouted. Buildings towered overhead and above them. Airships buzzed across the sky. Airships. For a moment, Roz was dreaming again about how easily she could get home if she just could get an airship. But reality came crashing back when a white triangular ship darted over. It was gone in an instant, disappearing behind the rooftops. But that was all it took for the robot's survival instincts to flare up again. Were the Ricos searching for Roz or going about some other business? Roz tried to focus on her immediate surroundings. She was marching behind the crew of robots. With each step, she grew more nervous that they noticed her tagging along, and she wanted to break away. And as they started weaving and shuffling through the crowd of tourists, Roz slowed and stopped, and the robot crew continued on without her. Now Roz was on her own, but she didn't know what to do or where to go. When in doubt, Bright Bill had always guided her north. So our robot set off through the city in that direction, the north. Who remembers north from their compass rose? Who remembers north? Yep.
North Pole.
North. Yep.
I already know North. That's where my
Miss Child, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I think northeast, south, and west stands for never eat soggy waffles.
What? What? Never eat
Never
soggy
said
waffles.
soggy waffles.
Oh, I get it. Good, good. Okay, I'm gonna mute you again.
North.
Okay. Now, okay. Let's see. So our robot set off in that direction. While marching northward, Roz passed beautiful boulevards and architecture and gardens and art, and yet she had to ignore it all. She had to act like a normal robot. And a normal robot would never wander the city admiring beautiful things. Wherever Roz looked, she saw normal robots concentrating on their tasks and on nothing else. They ran errands, delivered food, swept sidewalks, cleaned windows, fixed machines, built glorious structures, and did more jobs than you can possibly imagine. Fiona, Fiona, Fiona. There you go. Most walked on 2 legs, but some rolled on wheels, slid up and down the sides of buildings on tracks. The city was a glittering modern metropolis where humans lived in luxury, all thanks to the tireless work of robots. Roz was marching when the sunlight faded and the city lights brightened. She was marching when the humans went in for the night and the robots continued to work. She was marching when the sun came up and the humans filtered out of their buildings. A new day began in the city, and there was Roz marching north, blending in, anxiously hoping her son would appear. So I'll read 2 more chapters, okay? Because they're really small. This is called chapter 71, The Observations. Sunlight sparkled off the skyline. New buildings were constructed. Old buildings were taken down. Cargo ships docked in the harbor. Delivery trucks unloaded crates. Bright signs flickered with advertisements. Robots worked behind the scenes. Children played in parks, just like you guys said you would. Adults ate and drank in outdoor cafes. The city pushed with energy. A wild robot observed it all. Chapter 72, The Police. Para-police robots stood on the sidewalk while foot traffic glided past them. Their heads swiveled back and forth as they scanned the crowd with their glowing eyes. The police looked menacing, but they sounded friendly. Whenever a human walked by, they'd say, "Have a nice day," in a perky voice. There were a lot of humans walking by, so the police kept repeating their words. "Have a nice day, have a nice day, have a nice day." Our robot was not having a nice day. She was alone in the city, and she was worried about her son, and she wanted nothing to do with the police, but she couldn't avoid them. If she turned suddenly, she might draw their attention. So she kept her eyes forward and calmly marched along with the other robots on the street. Roz may have looked calm on the outside, but on the inside, her thoughts were scrambled. Were the police dangerous? Did they work with the Ricos? Was she about to be caught? It seemed as if the police were watching Roz. Their eyes lingered on her for a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then they continued to scan the crowds. Our robot felt something like relief when she made it past without incident. She went on her way, just another robot on the street, and those perky voices gradually faded behind her. "Have a nice day, have a nice day, have a nice day." Ooh. Okay. I should read this chapter.
No.
It's called,
No, we want to do brain break now.
okay.
No, I don't. I don't want to do brains.
Tomorrow we'll start with the chapter, The Pigeons.
Bye.
I don't want to do brain break now because it's math now. Did 2 more chapters?
Now. So,
Bye.
Bye.
oh, no.
You
don't
said
stop
two
doing
more. Bye. 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 Loud.